Welcome back to another video. It's Friday, August 18th. We are working on this truck again with this front grill piece here. Part just came in, shipped from Winnipeg. Didn't take that many days to get here, but it's here. So I'm going to take this piece off, see what it entails with these spot welds, so on and so forth. The box is sitting right there. I'm going to see what that comes with. I also picked up a new battery. So if I had a spot welder, which I don't, my uncle has one, he'll bring it over one of these days. I could get this thing completely back together. Now, granted I can't, but I can get it pretty much back together. So I'm just going to start working on that, get this apart, see if I can separate them, because I do have spot weld drill bits, and put it back in. And then he's just got to come along and all the spot welds. So, let's get straight to it. Alright, got it out of the box. Wow, it came with a lot more stuff than I thought it did. Thought I was going to have to take those brackets off and those and that. But no, it came with all that. The only downside to that is we lose these stickers. So whatever this here says, truck 24 / or July 24/14 something ANT 40. And then there's another sticker here, one here, all talking about jacking instructions. Then one here. So we're gonna lose these stickers, but I won't have to spot weld anything if I choose not to. The only part I see so far that I gotta reuse other than the big stuff is these things, and they're just attached on with rivets. That makes that easy. So yeah, pretty easy to just take it apart and work on. So I'm going to get after that. Wow, there's a lot more parts here than I thought that would be reusable. I'm just going to keep it black. Black is a nice color. So, yeah. I mean, then I know what's been replaced long term too, because I presume these have been replaced. So yeah. Alright, so I've been starting to work on it. It's gonna rain, and also it's Fridays. So on Fridays, here I'm trying to set off my light. On Fridays, my aunt always comes to the farm. She does cleaning. She cleans my grandmother's or Beppa's house. And as you can see, I'm sure you guys have been watching, my hair gets really long. Like right now, if I pulled it straight, it'd be long. So she's gonna cut my hair. She always does a really nice job. So yeah, I mean, my hair's getting pretty long, pretty messy. I'm sure you guys have seen that throughout the summer. It's been around 10 weeks since I've gotten a haircut. Just one of those things I just can't seem to get around to doing. I mean, I get busy, like this truck, so then I seem to just kind of forget about getting a haircut. So she offered to do that, which is awesome. Oh, she doesn't do it all the time because she's busy too, but Mom and Dad are out of town. They just went on a vacation they're missing tonight's sore time and tomorrow's sore time. Once a year, us kids send them away on a vacation. So yeah, I'll get a haircut. It'll be nice. So yeah, you guys, it'll be like the next clip I'll have my haircut, but for me, I'll lose maybe half an hour of working on this truck. So if you're like, how come it wasn't very productive today? That's why. So same day, but I'll just have a haircut. Alright, back after a haircut. So I had a lot of hair to cut off. As you saw, I was down to like here before. So yeah, my aunt always does a nice job cutting hair, so it looks a whole lot better, feels a whole lot lighter. So, yeah. Back at this truck. So it stopped raining. It keeps on raining on and off. So, kind of hard to keep the door open and work on it. But if not, I can always just work on it in this space here. It's just, yeah. Maybe I should have backed it up a little more. I would have had a little more room. But it's, if the door's open, I got a whole lot more room to work. And a lot more natural light. So yeah, back at it. hope to get that grill piece off before it soars, and I'm sure I'll end up draining that rad fluid. So, you can see I got wax all over the windows, but we'll deal with that at some point, much later. Alright, so I figured out what I'm doing now. The whole rad assembly, these two, well, the radiator and the oil cooler, I think that's what they are, whatever. Doesn't matter, I haven't looked close enough. Anyway, I got it pretty much off. What's left to take off, I believe. So there's those two big rad mounts down there. I gotta take these things off, I already got one off. I have now snapped 4 bolts on this truck in total. I'm not surprised about the ones that broke because, yeah, I'm worried the mounts into here might break too. I really hope they don't, but judging by all this rust, oop, I didn't realize how crooked I was. Judging by all the rust, I bet you they will. But you can see those holes right there. They hold on this, and it sits there. Oh boy, that's what snapped off. Snapped off 3 out of 4 of those. Just clean off. I got one stuck in the ratchet end, which is always a pain, so I'm gonna pull it out, punch it out. But overall, I can't complain about snapped bolts for this. So I'm gonna have to disconnect all the lines going up to the rad. I'm gonna have to change the radiator fluid anyway. So I'm only, I think, 2 bolts away from getting this thing off, the 2 big ones on the bottom. I've just been disconnecting all the stuff, and the tabs just snapped off here in between this and this box. I gotta disconnect everything and push it back through, like so. That way it doesn't rot, or not rot, that way it doesn't rip. So that's unfortunate. Not even quite sure what that box thing does, but it must do something. But yeah, that's electrical for you. I mean, it won't impact the truck any, so I might just be smart and replace it or tape it good or something creative. Because, well, now it's sitting back in there, but that's quite a thing to rewire, and I'd prefer to avoid extra work right now. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna get started on working on rad lines, disconnecting stuff, so just going along, picking stuff, unplugging, putting it away like that. Same with, there's another one here and there. And then I gotta look down below. Like you can see, there's one here. It's gonna, right there, focus. And then there's a big one right below that. So it's probably due for one anyway. This thing's gonna take a coolant change, and I suspect that, no, I haven't looked, this flap bolts on somehow. Yeah, 4 of them nice pull things. That's what these holes here are for, I believe. And then we can see more down below, I guess. Yeah, all the flash is still on and the big zoom was on, but yeah, just a lot of lines to disconnect. You don't want to miss any, otherwise you create a whole nother job. But that's what I've been doing, so it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of progress, but in reality I am trying really hard to get this thing, let's push that back through so I don't forget, this thing off and out. So hopefully I can get all the lines disconnected without snapping, breaking anything. So I'm just gonna keep at it. Interestingly enough, there is no drain plug on this radiator. I looked it up. You just gotta kind of pull the bottom hoses off and let it drain in. So you gotta flush it out, which is a process. And you know how I mentioned earlier, I don't know what this thing is. I was just looking at it. I don't know how I didn't know. It's for the air conditioning. Like, yeah, I don't know how I didn't know that. Or I just pulled a blank in my head. So that's why that's there. So I'm just going to keep on taking stuff apart. Going to slide a bunch of pails underneath. Fluid's going to drain out into pails. It ain't exactly going to be perfect or pretty, but it will work. And then once it's out, I can take the rad off and I can drain it properly, because the rad and the AC condenser will have to come off here. There'll be a bunch of part swapping from this whole setup here to that whole setup over there, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to keep tearing into this. I'm learning a whole lot off the internet, but it's good. So I'm out of time for today. It's 4 o'clock, but despite what that person on the internet said and was doing, I see something. This thing right here, it's a turn knob. The hose end. I'm gonna take off this hose off here at some point. Before I take more hoses off, I'm gonna try draining out of there. I don't know why they were saying you can't drain rad fluid out. It didn't make much sense to me, but that's what happens when you believe people on the internet, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pack up shop for the night, because, well, I'm out of time. It's rather unfortunate, but I spent 2 hours on this thing today. I didn't get crazy far by the looks of it, but I did get a whole lot of stuff out. Probably only another half an hour from pulling this whole thing out and starting to switch things around over there. So, yeah. Alright, that looks a whole lot different. That was really hard to get out, actually. It's a little bit awkward. I loosened this. Gonna have to loosen it some more. I think it would be best if I take it off, though, maybe. So I might do that. But the AC condenser's sitting in there. The rad's sitting there. The rad went in on this orientation. These things just seem to sit down in there. Yeah. So, now that we're here and I can point stuff out better without having to use the flashlight. Here's all the bushing parts. I'm gonna just try and keep them on there, though. I might take them off, clean them up, spray them a bit, but yeah, on this side, this bushing here, that bolt, not sure if I mentioned it, we had a really hard time this afternoon. My brother-in-law was on top of the impact, ours down below with that strong bar. That impact has 1,400 foot-pounds of breakaway. That strong bar down there, I was just holding, trying to fight it around. It took us a good 30 seconds of running that. I was trying it before he came to get it to go. Really hard, but we did get it. So, yeah, I didn't think we were going to get that. I thought that might have to be a torch job. But you can just see all the rust on here. I think, yeah. It's too bad these bushings that are here, they're really hard to get in Canada for some reason. This is the wiring harness. That doesn't generally sit behind the fan, but it's sitting there. These bushings, they have to come from the US if I were to get them. And it would cost $60 to get them shipped. Those things right there. And they cost around, I forget, 60 a piece. So, like, I thought, I know you're not supposed to cheap out, but I hate paying a lot of money to get something shipped here. Like that rad, this whole plate assembly. That new one I bought was free shipping. So, I hate spending money on shipping because it just seems like a waste. I know when it says free shipping, you pay for it built in the product, but it's a whole feel thing, I guess. And to be honest, I didn't really think 250 or whatever, 200 and $90 for that assembly was too bad. So, yeah. If you're wondering why I took the rad and all that out, it's because it literally sits right in here, and all the bolts that you need to take out to get to that would take this out. So it's easiest to take those two out when you do all this. So now we can look around some more. Hopefully we don't find anything else, but it is good to look. Yeah, man, that was something. But yeah, I'm gonna start transferring. There's obviously these rad mounts, and then I think there's pieces like these. You gotta pull out these rubbers and they transfer over and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get both those things side by side out here and start swapping parts. So I'm not sure. You can see there's these things down here, and then there's a whole pile of those. There's gotta be like 10 of those. The new one doesn't come with all of those handy dandy pieces, so I could steal them off there and put them on here, or I could buy new. Gotta think of what I'm gonna do. I just messaged the guy that I asked all about parts and all about this truck, what his thoughts are and what he'd do if it was his. He generally replies in like 2 minutes. He's always very fast. So I'll know, and that'll be determined. In the meantime, I still gotta pull off more stuff, and something like this is just gonna get transferred over. I might bring it inside the shop before it gets dark. But yeah.